How frequently do you hear older women on dating apps say things like, "I know my worth. I'm looking for a partner to settle down with. I don't have time for amateur games," or "I want something meaningful." These are frequently the words of a woman who has spent years perfecting her profession or living her best life and is now looking for a nice man to spend the rest of her life with so that she does not rot alone. Women in their mid-30s use older dating apps in the hopes of finally swiping right on any stable and fertile guys who can become their retirement plan and help them reproduce and then raise babies. They don't realize that older men have learned the hard way not to settle down with elderly women after being burned so badly by divorce, child support battles, loveless marriages, and numerous rejections. When men began to witness their friends and family members being wrongfully convicted in family court and their ostensibly loving wives turning on them because they were unhappy, men realized the deception of what was going on. When using dating apps today, you will still come across simps who give these older women attention and validation that they do not receive from their current or previous husbands. When younger women adopted the modern woman narrative, they were told that a man would always be there for them when they were in their late 30s or early 40s. But over time, men became wary, and men are no longer approaching women, and even if they do, they are not committing to them as they know the inside story of these older women. To get the guys they really wanted all to themselves, these women decided to put secure men on the defensive. However, this did not go as planned because casual dating culture, as we know it, began with the widespread use of social media and dating apps. Keep in mind who was ultimately responsible for establishing the casual fling culture. The future of dating for women and the next generation of women was ruined by none other than women, because they wanted to date the guys, have casual fun with men who were looking for commitment at the time. It's that very woman who contributed to the decline of dating and relationships is still complaining about the lack of good men on dating apps today. And their daughters, now in their late 20s to early and mid-30s, are in the same situation, looking for a good man to settle down after failing to follow in their mother's footsteps due to how nasty divorce has become. Men are no longer willing to put their retirement savings at risk for a woman who was only interested in the money. Elderly women are starting to realize that men are no longer idiots, and that they have grown accustomed to living without them and being much happier. As a result, the elderly women you see on dating apps today are the same women who were once thought to be strong and successful independent women. They're the same women who complain all the time and spread negativity on the internet. You must remember that these ladies have had years to try to change their negative habits and possibly meet a nice man. Many of these women were previously married, but they believed they could advance on their husbands by betraying them, taking their children and money, and then returning to the dating scene in the hope of bypassing all the other women and landing a top-tier man again. Never feel sorry for or try to save any of these women because they willingly put themselves in that situation. Why would a man choose to date an older woman when he can date younger women in his peak that he couldn't previously? Especially in the current economic climate, where we are on the verge of another recession and times are tough. Why do they think you're a good choice now that they're older, when they used to ignore and trash you when they were younger? They are only attempting to capture you, gentlemen. I recently came across an article claiming that older women are being abandoned in the online world. According to the article, women are really worse off on dating sites because men prefer younger women and because older women are in a hurry to get into new relationships and commit long-term. These women are also less likely to give men a second chance because they're old and have had their experiences growing up and now just want to have a committed relationship. Let's move on. According to another site's research, dating can be especially difficult for divorced women because it can be complicated, anxious, and worrying to look for a second chance at love when children come first. Being a single mother can be extremely difficult, especially when you need a single friend and a babysitter to get there. However, not everyone believes that they will find love online. Single parents describe themselves as lonely, isolated, vulnerable, and worthless, and they have a genuine sense that their world has shrunk. Let's look at a girl's comment on one of these articles. She claims, "I'm the third of four, and it's clear that waiting this long was a mistake that only makes things harder, not impossible. Yet people constantly advise me to take advantage of all this time and go adventuring around the world, which is fine unless you know you want to start a family on my own. So I'll tell her that if she wants to have a family, she should get married by the age of 30. However, for the best results, you cannot be doing your thing in your 20s to late 30s and expecting a guy to sweep you off your feet when you're 40. She also has to have children on her own because she can't find a man with whom to start a family." Don't forget to hit the like button to help spread the word about this video. Thank you for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember that a red pill a day keeps bad poker hands away. So have a good rest of your day and cheers.